Our next discussion topic is on how to properly provide kickbacks to your buyer clients. Now, it's a bit of a play on words because truthfully, we use kickback to get your attention. What we're really talking about here is inducements and commission reductions. Now, our management team on a consistent basis gets questions on, by the way, are we running the video, guys? Thank you. Our management team consistently gets questions on, consistently counsels our agents on strategy around bringing a buyer and seller together when it's so close, but it's just not happening. A lot of our agents, they are asked of their buyer clients to reduce their commissions at times. And the truth is that I, along with the other managers, we often cringe when we hear this discussion topic. Not for us, but for our agents. We know full well from experience, from being in the trenches and doing the work, that you are leaving birthday parties to negotiate offers. You are cutting time short with family to coordinate last-minute showing requests. You are quickly jumping into action when your client says, hey, these 2 properties that you recommended I see that we didn't include in our tour today, that happens in 3 hours, sometimes less, can you include them all of a sudden? All of the jumping through hoops that you do for your clients, they often don't see that, they don't feel it. A lot of the ones that you've worked with for 2, 3, 4 months in succession, shown them 40 or 50 homes, or sometimes over a course of 2 years. And now, you've done all this work for them, you've really worked hard, you have their best interests at heart, and now they're asking for a commission reduction. And for these scenarios, that's why I myself cringe a little, because I want to see you get paid what you deserve. There's a story about a boat mechanic that's called into a pier, and he fixes a boat that the engineers could not do so. And it took him 10 minutes. He sends the invoice, and the invoice is for $10,000. And the company says, why are you invoicing me for $10,000 when it was 10 minutes worth of your work? And a lot of you probably already know this, but the actual bolt or the actual turning of the bolt took 10 minutes. But why did he charge 10 grand? Because he knew what bolt to turn. Real estate agents are just like that. They have a cumulative experience and that builds up over time. You have the ability to call upon a manager when you need to get a little bit more help, to have a little more conviction when you're delivering news to your clients, to get them across the finish line, and you deserve every penny. So now I've talked your ear off about that, let's talk about how to properly put these into place for the times when you feel like there is no other way, for the times when you feel it does make sense to maybe do a commission reduction. How do we do that? It's very simple. You essentially amend your buyer agreement. Let's pretend that you have an exclusive buyer agreement, and that exclusive buyer agreement is to the tune of 3.5 and 1.5. Well, once the deal has firmed up, you can then go ahead and amend the paperwork to now get paid 2.5, 1.5. And in doing so, you would want to send an email to our conveyancing department, making sure that they take note that you have done the commission adjustment amendment and that the $1,000 that's going to be paid out to CIR on your behalf, the 3.5, 1.5 that is going to be paid out to CIR will now be adjusted so that you get the 2.5, 1.5, and the buyer client will be cut a check in the amount of $1,000. That is the easiest and simplest way to do so. Now, why do I say to wait till the deal firms up? Well, it's simple. If the deal dies or collapses and you then go out and you have to find another property, you don't want your commission on the next property to necessarily be impacted because of this current arrangement. Notifying our conveyancing department via email is just to draw more attention to the fact that the change was made and who you would like that extra $1,000 to be paid out to. Some of your clients are going to ask you for a reduction of sort in the form of an inducement. Now, a lot of you may have been asked, well, if I buy this property, will you pay my legal fees? if I buy this property, will you pay for my inspection costs? All of these things at the time when you have made a deal for your client, they are now entering into inducement territory. So what you want to consider is that instead, you could say something to the effect of, well, I'll tell you what, if you wanted your legal fees paid for, it's not something that I'm going to march into your lawyer's office to pay for your fees, but if the deal firms up, that's where we can adjust the commissions to reduce by the amount to offset for those legal fees. And then the client would be saving that money on your fees to offset the cost of those lawyer fees. Now, again, this isn't necessarily something that we recommend. I know that, this is a polarizing topic amongst our agents. We do have a lot of agents that will not reduce for anything. And I stand behind those agents. We have agents where they feel like their back is against the wall, like there is no other way. And I also feel for those agents too. I think the main point that I'd like to make is know your worth. And if you're going to do something like this, consider the proper way to do it. It's very simple. It's very easy. And if you need any assistance in structuring this, all you have to do is reach out to a manager and we'll give you a hand. Now, again, if you were to go to RECA.ca and you were to put in inducements into the search bar, it's going to give you the black and white on inducements. Now, we discussed incentives before, and we just discussed inducements. And when you do read that black and white, for some of you, you may interpret it as gray area, and that's totally understandable. You see things going on, and you wonder what's real, what isn't. You often wonder why you can't do such things, why we don't allow it and other brokerages do. The truth is, if you read the black and white, you will get a better understanding. Talk amongst it with your colleagues. CIR, we do listen. The management team, ownership, everybody listens to when you have concerns and issues. And things are born out of those concerns and issues, like the 12-month giveaway every year that we do. And this year it's the Alberta Experience. When it comes to those commission reductions, a lot of you might be tempted to earn your paycheck and then look to give your client some sort of repayment outside of the deal. That is something that RECA definitely frowns upon. Any sort of payout to your buyer must be done through the brokerage. The brokerage has the unique ability to pull that money off of your income so that you're not taxed on it. It's really clean. It makes it a lot simpler. And you can sleep at night knowing that it was done the right way and that you're not going to get in trouble for any of it.